Okay. So what I wanted to say is since we implemented Acronis quite a few years ago, we've made a number of changes. We've decided to tap into the Acronis storage as well as using our own internal storage. But more importantly, some changes Acronis have made is to expand the capability of the product well beyond backup. So now it's become a remote monitoring and management capability where we're able to understand, or our partners are able to understand the security status of all the devices that are connected by having an Acronis license. It's going to issue it issues alerts and guidance on what needs to be done. There's support to assist people manage those processes. Obviously, from the backup perspective, we want our customers to be diligent about that and to back up on local devices as well as to the cloud. And there's also the DA capability. So particularly where a customer is backing up to the Australian-based data centre for the Acronis storage, they're able to implement a real-time DA recovery. So if on-premise devices fail, they can bring services back online remotely, but keep the business running, keep it live. And we've already seen that in practice, where we've had customers who, for example, were running a medical clinic, and all of their patients are, obviously in that system and coming in, and then their local server has failed, and they don't know which patients are seeing which doctors and when they're meant to see them and all that sort of stuff. And they were able to do a recovery and get everything up and working, very, very promptly. So those sorts of capabilities can be invaluable. We probably haven't done as good a job as we'd like to in explaining what's under the bonnet, and that's the reason that we're having this fairly brief session today. So I won't take any more time on that. I'll just hand over to Jeff and let you take it from here, Jeff.
Sure. Hi, good morning. My name is Jeffrey. I'm the solution engineer for Acronis. I'll present to you on Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud today. Our advanced security with EDR and XDR, and along with our RMM features that is provided in the cloud solution. All right, let me just share my screen. All right, so traditional non-integrated cybersecurity faces several challenges with the growing attack surface. Yes.
Sorry, Jeffrey.
I
can't see your screen at the moment. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There you go. Can you see that?
Yep. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Let me repeat again. Sorry about that. Okay. Traditional non-integrated cybersecurity faces several challenges. With the growing attack surface and customer spread across various locations, organizations must handle a mix of cloud, on-premise, public, and private workloads. This makes expanded and complex attack surface that leads to siloed security tools across different infrastructures, which then leads to a large number of alerts, and as a result, creates an alert fatigue. Critical threats can be overlooked, leaving gaps in security. On top of that, with the rise of advanced threats like AI-powered attacks, zero-day exploits, and ransomware as a service that generates thousands of attacks variants daily, further complicating the defense landscape. So what does Acronis deliver is we offer a comprehensive cybersecurity and data protection solution in a single natively integrated platform. It is built for MSPs and IT departments. It features a fully unified stack with a single agent management console and policy for both security and data protection. This design streamlines technicians, training, and customer onboarding, reduces performance impact, and minimizes management overhead compared to managing multiple point solutions because it is built for MSP from the ground up, it's easier to use and allows you to mass manage across environments and integrate seamlessly with tools MSP uses daily. So our Acronis Cyber Protect is based on cybersecurity framework from the NIST. NIST framework is a set of guidelines that is best practice. It's best practice to design to help organization to manage and reduce cybersecurity risks. In this framework, it has 6 pillars: governance, identify, protect, detect, response, and recover. So basically, the governance points of view of the is to able to provision a single agent in a platform that is very information rich in our dashboard that gives you the ability to see your environment and know what is needed to be protected. With the ability to do a hardware, software inventory, and vulnerability assessment, it provides you the visibility to identify what are the workloads and what needs to be protected. By able to do so, you can do things like patch management, security configuration management proactively. We also provide security awareness training to train and equip our partners and end users to know on recognize and avoid phishing, social engineering, and other scams. When there is an event, our AI behavior-based detection and exploit prevention catch these threats as they happen. Many of those events can be automatically remediated, but if you need to respond, we have the ability to do incident analysis, remote access for investigation, as well as rapid incidents prioritization. And then on the recovery side, because we have a fully integrated backup that allows you to do a self recovery or to spin up those up in the Acronis Acronis Cloud has a disaster recovery mode. With this framework, we got you covered for every angle. Okay. So with one agent, Acronis is able to provide you cybersecurity, data protection, management in all-in-one cloud console. So basically, with our single agent, you're able to configure your EDR, vulnerability assessment. In terms of the cybersecurity portion, with the same agent, you're able to do a backup and disaster recovery in our data center. And lastly, with the same agent, you can also configure for your RMN, remote access, and also hardware detection. All right. Now, what drives the adoption of EDR and XDR is to combat advanced attacks. You need advanced security. With more than 60% of the attacks involve hacking, so that requires advanced defenses. It's not just users clicking a malware and the malware start infecting your system. It is actually a threat actors who gain access to your device and to the network. With EDR and XDR, we are able to see a huge reduction of these security incidents because they get detected earlier. As an MSP, you're able to remediate via the console. So it's not just how or when breach is inevitable. You need to be prepared. In some statistics, it can take up to 70 days to contain a breach. Without EDR or XDR, those breach can continue to go undetected. The average cost of a breach is in millions of dollars, and the majority of security and IT teams struggle to managing those silos of solutions and able to understand all those applications and assets in a common and centralized way. And many compliance is mandatory to provide the report of security incidents, and sometimes they need to report within a short time frame of 72 hours.
So Jeffrey, with handling with breaches, so can you tell us anything about the detection technology, how these breaches are being identified, from the get-go, rather than, just when something bad starts to happen?
So in a very simple way is our EDR treats everything as a potential threat. So because most of this threat comes in through your vulnerability, maybe your Google Chrome, WinZip, or Adobe. So that's why we also encourage to enable vulnerability assessment. So with the vulnerability assessment, able to detect patches that requires to be patched on your third-party products. And what EDR does is, like I mentioned, it treats everything as a potential threat. So when something that is abnormal, EDR will basically stop the process and will alert us immediately. With integration of XDR, we're able to integrate with right now with with Fortinet Firewall. We're able to integrate with Entra ID, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Teams. So we're able to give you an extended view of how the external attack comes in. So EDR is on the endpoint detection. XDR is all the integrated sensors that that comes in through the external connectivity. So by able to have this leveraging on the sensors and the EDR features, we're able to prevent all these attacks from happening. So on top of that, our solution also comes with revert cache recovery, which is by default, we will create a cache copy in your system to roll back the changes that is done by maybe a ransomware that encrypt your file, right? Which I'll show you later in the demo. So our advanced security with EDR and XDR provides multi-layer protection, including anti-ransomware, crypto mining protection, URL filtering for safe browsing, AI-based static analysis, behavior protection, and more. So basically our EDR and anti-malware solution comes with all these layers of protection. So our XDR is built with AI-driven protection for your most vulnerability attack surface. It is designed to secure endpoints and comprehensive visibility across critical areas like email, Entra ID, and Microsoft 365 apps. It is an ideal solution for clients with using 365 Business, Standard, or Premium licenses. We are able to reduce endpoint bloat and improve performance with a single agent that delivers it all: XDR, EDR, MDR, anti-malware, anti-ransomware, data loss prevention, backup, disaster recovery, and even endpoint management and monitoring. With Acronis Advanced Security Plus XDR, it will prioritize and visibility of suspicious activities. With the AI-generated incident summary, it's easier to understand an attack much more faster. It allows you and shows you how these attacks get in, hide itself, or what harm it causes, and how it tries to spread itself. So basically, when you access to our console under the EDR and XDR, we'll give you a summary of what is this attack about, what the vulnerability that it may detect, what are the and also the attack stages in milliseconds, which I will show you in detail later in the demo. Right. With our Copilot for EDR, it is able to enhance security incidents analysis and response by leveraging on conversational user experience powered by our generative AI. All right. Users can conduct a rich investigation and resolve incidents quickly using simple human-like language instead of complex scripts or queries. So basically, you can ask the Copilot here, what is this attack about? How do I remediate? And it will provide you some answers and solutions based on your queries. The queries you can ask, each of the customers have 1,000 questions they can ask a month. After that, we will automatically reset it. All right. In terms of privacy, this assistant, basically we are using the Copilot generative AI, but we do not share the information externally. This is mainly used internal. All right. So it's trained within our Acronis data center and our cloud. So Acronis has been evaluated as a top performer by multiple independent evaluation, provisioning, and technology efficient. For AV comprehensive tests, there are only 3 service providers that scored 0 false positive, which Acronis being one of them. And recently in Canalys G2, Acronis scored one of the top, and we are one of the leaders. Right. Now, next is our Acronis RMM, which was used to be known as Acronis Advanced Management. So Acronis RM is a natively integrated, secured AI-powered remote monitoring and management solution that is designed to address these needs. It enables MSPs to deliver superior IT administration and monitoring services, improve and security posture for both endpoints and Microsoft 365, and boost technicians' performance through automation. So this is an overview of what we have in our advanced management or our RMM solution. We have device sense to detect or discover your network devices. So you're basically able to see what is connected in your network. You don't need to access through your switch. From our cloud console, you're able to see whether you have a printer, router, firewall, or even mobile devices that is connected to your network. Be able to do hardware and software inventory. You're able to do geolocation tracking. This is one of our latest features that comes with our RMM solution. You can remotely access to Windows, Mac OS, and even Linux via our remote support solution. We call it near software. We have AI scripting where you can run, you can create a script via Microsoft PowerShell or Mac OS batch. Right. We also have the AI monitoring that understands the behavior of your system. It takes 21 days to understand the behavior of a system, and then it will inform you of something that is abnormal, right? Based on anomaly, and from that anomaly, you can also automatically trigger the scripting tool to maybe run certain tasks. So before a user or a customer call you for a break and fix, the AI already detected that anomaly and run the script based on what you requested to do. Okay, everything is all in our RMM solution that I'll show you in our demo in a short while. Okay, so the platform approach is not just a vision, it is reality. You are now have all the components with RMM, PSA, security, backup, and disaster recovery. So what I'm sharing here is from our Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud, we're not just able to provide you security, backup, disaster recovery, we're able to provide you all the RMM features that most of our, what you call that, our MSP partners will use, and also able to provide you a PSA where you can do service desk, CRM, or HR management, and so on. Okay. Now, our RMM is natively integrated between components such as PSA, cybersecurity, backup, and disaster recovery to enhance your protection, reliability, and efficiently. For instance, if a system can be automatically backed up before updates via a fail-safe patching, and cybersecurity attacks can be remediated through our AI system scripting directly through our EDR and XDR console. Another example is we are able to faster ticket a resolution as a service desk and RM solution are consolidated in the same console. So from one cloud console, we are integrating our RM into our EDR, XDR for patch, remote desktop monitoring. And then before you do a patch update, we can do an incremental backup of the system. So in case if you have a bad patch, you can automatically restore from the incremental backup before you actually install the patch, right? And we're also able to streamline and billing through your the RMM and our PSA solution. So my last slide here is, this is a very simple overview of how the integration works, which I'll share in detail in the demo later. So from the EDR and XDR console, when we detect a threat, we can actually install a patch, run the scripting to fix a certain to fix the the threat. Okay, you can remote desktop through the EDR console, and we can also update your software and also detect whether your antivirus or your firewall is it disabled or off. All right, we can use the AI to automatically turn on the services too if we detect that it's off. Right? Any question before we go into the demo? All right, no worries. Later we'll have more questions in the demo. So before I go into the user account, let me just show you on the management console here, right? To enable, just a quick refresher, to enable the features, just go to configure, right? And then select advanced management for RM and EDR. If you need EDR or XDR, just enable this. And then in the end user side, that's where you enable XDR integration. With our XDR, we are currently able to integrate Fortinet Firewall, Microsoft Entra ID. Entra ID, you can also add on SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, our email security that provides 7 layers of scanning for incoming emails. With 365, we are also able to do outbound scanning and also scan your OneDrive, SharePoints, and Teams for hidden malware and virus, right? A bit add on advanced security is if you're currently using Microsoft 365 to backup, we also can scan your emails for virus, right? In here, when you enable this, we can also scan your 365 mailbox for virus. So what we do is when we back up your server, or when you back up your 365 mails to Acronis Cloud today, we will scan the backups. Okay, so now let me show you on the end users. Okay, so once you enable the feature, all you need to do is just go to device, add device. So you can do a device discovery to do a mass deployment, but the prerequisite is you need to install one agent at the user side, and then you do the device discovery to detect what are the network devices in your network to do a mass deployment. So this is for your Windows desktop laptops, Mac OS, servers, Linux. Okay, one thing I didn't share with you all in the slide is our recent update, which just updated, is we are able to support Linux for EDR, right? So of course there are some limitation in terms of the EDR portion where we do not support the patch update for Linux, but in our EDR currently support Linux, and we are adding more Linux distro in the upcoming year, right? For mobile devices, we only support backups, and these are the hypervisors. So once you install the agent, right, you then go to management and create your protection plan. Again, I mentioned one agent for all these features, so you can have your backup, disaster recovery, EDR solution, right, RMM patch management, and you can have your data flow all right, your DLP. So all you need to do is just add your device, go with agent, select the server. You can ignore this. It's just telling that this server currently has a plan that is conflicting with all this. So we're just going to ignore this for a while. Then you can label this anything you want. You can call this demo. You can configure your backup from here. Disaster recovery, if you need, just turn it on. We will automatically create a cloud virtual server in our data center. In EDR, when you switch it on, you have real-time protection, right? Behavior detection. So if you critic scan, we use our AI detection to understand the behavior of basically to prevent you from zero-day attacks. We also protect you on your network folder. So if you have a map drive, and if your device is being attacked or infiltrated via malware or virus, we will make sure that that map drive is protected. Or if someone else is infected and try to copy a file that contains virus into your map drive, we will also protect you from that. By default, we have crypto mining process detection enabled and URL filtering. So when this is enabled, users we block users from accessing to phishing website, but what you can also do is you can block users from accessing to certain categorized websites, right? You can block them going to gambling, finance, hacking, even suicide. Recently, I have an inquiry for because there is actually quite a number of cases in Malaysia where students are feeling the stress and they start jumping off the buildings in the school. So this is one of the requirements, whether can we block suicide websites? And yes, we can. Next is exclusion. Just in case you want to add more websites that you want to block, like I want to block talk.com, I can do that. Right. In our anti-malware, remember I mentioned, so what we do here, we create a cache copy of your system, just like Microsoft Shadow Copy, but it's different in a way because if you get infected by Lockbit today, Lockbit will automatically delete your Microsoft Shadow Copy. So those applications that relies on Shadow Copy to revert, they are unable to do so. But it does not delete, Lockbit does not delete my revert using cache. We keep a cache copy in your system to automatically recover you from a ransomware attack. All right, this does not take more than 10% of your disk space, so we do not need to worry that it use up your hard disk. Okay, and yeah, that's about it in terms of enabling EDR. In terms of the patch management, vulnerability assessment, I highly recommend because it will scan for your third-party product patches. We have more than 300 third-party products that we scan for Windows. We also scan for Mac OS, and Linux distros here, but our patch management only support for Windows. Okay, you then can configure your schedule. This is currently daily, so maybe you want to do Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. You can also select in case if that device was not on during the time, the next time when you turn on the device, it will automatically scan. Or you can also do every time when the user log into the system, right? You can customize it. In terms of patch management, you can also create example. This is Windows Server. I can also customize to only select maybe Exchange and only install critical or security and maybe high and critical and approve, automatically approve. So when it's under this criteria, it will automatically approve and install the patch for me. Or you can also look at our third-party product. Here's a list of the third-party products that we scan. With third-party product, same thing also. Let's say this example, major, high and critical, and automatically approve. All right. Now, this is the one that we integrate backup with our RMM. So before we install the patch, I want to backup the system. Right. In case I get a bad patch, I can automatically recover from the backup. Okay, so that is how we configure our RMM. Now, let me show you what we detect here. So typically when the users log in, they will see their monitoring, their dashboard here. This dashboard you can move around. You can add more information here that you want to view. What I want to show you is this. So there you go. So when I back up to Acronis Cloud today, and then I have our advanced security with EDR, XDR, we can scan the backups for hidden malware, right? I have a customer that uses one of our competitors because of a ransomware attack. They need to restore 5 times. By having this available, you know that your backup is safe, which backup image is safe, and which one can restore. And even if you choose to restore this, we have a feature where you can do a safe recovery to automatically remove the malware during the recovery process, right? And just now I mentioned that when we back up your 365 today, when we scan, you also see something like this, and it will detect and tell you, oh, you have a virus inside your mail. But right now we are unable to automatically remove it. So in order for you to remove, you need to restore it and delete that email, right? Soon we are going to automatically deleting that virus content email. Another thing that we have in our console here is threats feed, where we'll tell you what threats right now that is available right now. Maybe you haven't reached to our shores yet. So we tell you what is this threat about. And for you to avoid this threat from happening, you can run based on a recommendation. It will detect the entire system to tell you which devices that needs to maybe enable anti-malware or backup. Sometimes could be a simple patch. So it will show you what are the devices, and then you just start, and then you can prevent your device from being hacked. Okay. Let me show you in terms of EDR. So here, our EDR basically detect and tell you the severity based on the score. What kind of attack is this? What is it, the process type? If you click on here, you see I have not mitigated it. We have auto mitigation. So if we detect certain threats, you auto mitigate. Sometimes could be a known threat, then we automatically mitigate. But in this case here, I run a log2 ransomware, all right, through a PowerShell script. I can click investigate. I can also assign to a certain colleague of mine, and it tells you that this threat will happen what time. Host name, is it currently online? The operating system, IP address, and the user is currently accessing to it. Attack info. So we link to my threat attack to tell you what is this attack about. It gives you more information and understanding. So my threat attack is used by most cybersecurity vendors as a standard. Now you can click investigate. Okay, we use AI to summarize this attack. All right. So which makes it easier to understand that somebody clicks this PowerShell. What is the potential threat of this attack? What the vulnerabilities may exploit from this attack? Unlike, let's say, Microsoft Event Viewer that shows you the error codes, we will actually summarize the attack. Simplify to understand what it is about. You can also see the attack stages in milliseconds. So when I run logbit, this is what it shows. So this is what EDR shows you. Okay. You can also see the attack stages from here, but it's quite troublesome, right? So we simplify everything and show you here. Okay. Now you can go into here and manually response. All right. Now this is the PowerShell script that I click. Again, it shows you the techniques via my thread. This is the PowerShell. So from one PowerShell script, this is what it does at the back. It deletes your shadow copy. It contacts GitHub to maybe upload and download certain tools to infiltrate. You can also see that it's download keystrokes here to steal your password and your login credentials. Then you're going to upload to GitHub, right? You can run investigate with Copilot here to ask Copilot about an incident. So I actually did one because it takes 10 to 15 seconds to generate. But basically, you can ask any data stolen. It will look based on the incident. There's no direct evidence that data infiltration. It will, I'm sorry about that, unauthorized data access. But they do see that there's key logging activity through the PowerShell script. So you can ask Copilot some questions, right? You can then remediate. Now, if this is a false positive, it could be your own customized software. Then you add to allow list. Now, if it's a true positive, we already stopped the threats, so you don't need to worry. Next, what you need to do is, do you want to quarantine the threat or you want to roll back from changes? It will show you the changes done by logbit, right? It takes a while to show you this calculation. While this is, there you go. And then maybe you don't want to roll back, all right? You worry. So you can recover. Because we integrate our backup with our EDR, I'm able to do a recovery from here. Right? Or you can do a disaster recovery directly from here. You can do a failover. Or with our RMM, you can do a patch management here. Now, another way to do is, this is what I like about our EDR solution is, I can go to response. Here you go. We integrate with our RMM. I can do scripting. Now, this scripting, you can normally use this scripting for your normal daily tasks or your certain required tasks. And it supports both Windows and Mac. So, but because this is Windows, it didn't allow me to change because it's integrated the EDR. So what I can do is, maybe I know the latest security patch can fix this. So what I'll do is download and install Windows security patch. That's all. With OpenAI, it will generate the PowerShell script for me. Again, the scripting works for both Windows and Mac. So with Mac, it uses Bash, and then it will generate the latest security patch. There you go. You can copy this and test run in your PowerShell. Right? Just save and run. Or maybe you have an existing script. You can also use that. You can do forensic backup in case maybe you want to do a digital checking later. You can do cyber insurance claim from here because, with cyber insurance claim, they need forensic backup. So you can do a forensic backup to back up the current state of the system. You can remote desktop. There you go. Using our near software, which looks similar to any desk or team viewer, but you don't need to invest for another third-party tool. It comes together with our RMM. If you don't have the administrator name and password, you can ask for permission, or you can remotely access to it. I understand we actually exceeded the time. I just need 5 minutes more. So you can transfer file. Maybe you need to copy certain things. You can record the session and share to the user. This is two-way encryption. So the user is able to see what you are doing. I can actually get more than one colleague of mine to simultaneously access to this user to remotely troubleshoot, right? I can automatically isolate the device from here, or maybe isolate and power off, or do a forensic backup. Restart the workload, disaster recovery, failover, or patch. I can select, again, integrate with our RMM here. I can select the patch. Maybe I need to install this patch, and then select and install. Let's do it now. Okay, so this is the integration. Now with XDR, it gives you an external view of how the attack came about. All right. In my demo here, I did not integrate with Entra ID. I apologize. But with Entra ID, you basically can click on the user, terminate the session, reset the user's account, or disable his account. Right. So this gives you a view of how the external attack is. So if you have Fortinet firewall here today, you will see how the attacker go through your Fortinet and access to your device and run the execution file. Okay. In terms of our RMM tool here, we are able to show you this. This is the thing that I like about RMM is we're able to see the behavior, the anomaly, and tell you if there is something abnormal. This is live data right now from your system. So let's say example, at this hour, typically the server network connectivity is low. Suddenly it spiked 2-3 gig or way higher than abnormal. This will alert you and tell you that something is not right, so you can access to it. But what you can do in advance is when you create this monitoring plan, right? When you create this plan, you can also set it to automatically run the script. Okay, let me show you an example here. Let's say memory usage. So you can see it work for Windows or Mac. So you can use anomaly or based on threshold. Threshold is basically a percentage. Anomaly is where you use the AI to understand the behavior of your system. Now, let's say if we detect something that is abnormal or memory reaches a certain certain spike of the memory, this is where you go. Action, maybe restart a certain process or run the script. So this is where you integrate your AI scripting to automatically run a certain task. Okay, maybe because you know that this particular application will eat up some of my memory after a certain time. So I can use this script to maybe refresh the memory or dump certain things. Okay, so before the user basically call you to troubleshoot, the AI already detect this and help you to fix the problem for you. Okay, I mean, I could take more than half an hour, so I'll just stop right now. Let's follow up with a one-to-one session I'll be happy to share with you the details of the solution, how you can do a software deployment with the RMM solution, and how you can monitor or mitigate certain threats. All right, I will pass the floor back to our friends here. Sorry, let me stop sharing. All right, David, back to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jeffrey. I suppose, yeah, we have run over a bit of time. If there were any specific questions at all, feel free to shoot them through to myself or Doug. But yeah, Jeffrey, thank you once again. We can always arrange one-on-one sessions as well to go through in particular sort of things that anyone needs clarity over. But yeah, anything else from yourself, Doug?
Yeah, look, I think a couple of things that might be useful to touch on. One is the licensing arrangements. So Jeff, because I understand if somebody's got lots and lots of users and only a small amount of storage, there are plans around just purchasing storage and then allocating it across devices on the basis of just paying for the storage. And the other way to go at it is buying individual licenses and then obviously setting up your local storage and then buying cloud storage, separately. So can you just, maybe shed a little bit of light on that?
So in terms of storages, so basically with our solution, you can back up to your local storage. You can also back up to Acronis Cloud directly, or you can create a replication. Typically, I would recommend to back up to your local storage, then replicate to Acronis Cloud, so that you have a 3-2-1 backup scenario. With our solution, we can also have the option to backup or replicate to another third-party hosting, maybe Azure, AWS, even your object storage if you want to. In terms of the solution, if you look at it, it's pretty straightforward. It's very easy to actually deploy and configure the device. It would just take you in minutes to learn how to create a protection plan and deploy it. And again, because this is a cloud-based solution, whatever you create in the cloud portal here, it takes 2 to 5 minutes to update at the endpoints. So it all depends on your network connectivity, but typically it takes 2 to 5 minutes for the endpoint to have the updates that you created on the console.
Okay. If a client wants to have more than one local storage destination for backups, as well as potentially cloud, is that configurable?
Sorry, again?
If a customer wants to have, let's say 2 local backups and a cloud backup, so they might have, for even potentially 2 locations that are networked together, and they want to use both of them for their own sort of self-hosted backup as well as using cloud. Is that configurable? So yes, you might have 3.
That is configurable. You can create as many as you want. All you need to do is whether you have sufficient bandwidth to do the replication or time. You can, there is no limit to how many devices you can configure or replicate. So example, if I have 3 devices, I can replicate from A to B, B to C, and C to D. All right. You can also have the option to replicate your last backup, full backup, or all the backups. So you may have limited storage space on your replicated device. So you want to replicate your last backup, right? So that's always an option to them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. No further questions.
Okay, great. All righty. Well, I suppose we'll leave it there for now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. And Jeffrey, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next one.
Okay.
Good day.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers for now.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.